When we bought this house, it came with some smarts already installed, one of which are these Lutron Caseta smart light switches. So I wanted to create some cohesiveness down in my basement studio as well, bringing that same technology from upstairs in my living space down to the studio where I'm working, since I already love the ones that came pre-installed in the rest of the house. Lutron hooked me up with some awesome smart switches for my new studio, namely the Caseta smart switches. So thank you so much to Lutron. So Lutron makes these Caseta smart switches that can control non-smart bulbs, like the ones that are in my ceiling here, that are plugged in throughout your home. All you have to do is replace the non-connected wall switches, you know, the little on-off switch, with these ones, and ta-da! Your lighting is now smart. All you have to do is install the smart switches, connect them to the Lutron app, and you are ready to go. So you have two options. Either you can connect the light switches via Wi-Fi through the application, or you can get a bridge that connects to your home network via Ethernet. So mine is plugged in right into a 24-port switch, and the light switches will all connect through the bridge. Now the bridge allows you to connect up to 75 Lutron items, you know, in case you live in a mansion, and it lets you use scheduling, scenes, smart away in the app, so the application knows when you're leaving your house and it can set a schedule for specific things to happen when you leave. In my house specifically, all of my lights are dimmable, so I have installed the switches that allow me to dim my lights on and off, or a percentage of either. But Lutron also makes ones that can control simple on-off lighting, you can control fans, or low voltage lighting like the kind you find underneath cabinets. So one switch controls a series of lights, up to 17 of them, that are connected to that switch via wires. And if I want to control the same lights from another switch, I can also use Lutron's Pico Smart Remote and pair it with the main switch for those lights. So here's an example. All of the dimmable lights in my studio ceiling are connected to this one Caseta switch near the back door. I can also control all of those lights from the switch in my basement stairwell, so I installed a Pico remote over there. This one does not require all the wires to be redone, it just sits there on a battery. The main Caseta switch is hardwired into the electrical via the wires behind it, and it's definitely easy enough that you can do on your own, but I highly suggest turning off the power before working with it. You don't want to be touching a bunch of hot wires back there. Now the installation itself took maybe 15 minutes or less. It's very easy to do, and you can purchase nice flat wall plates from Lutron to match as well. You test your switches before you get the smarts all connected to make sure that the hard wiring actually works, and then you can connect them to your network. And this part is easy too. It just takes a few minutes as well. So first I connected the main Caseta smart dimmer switch by adding it to my Lutron app and network. You just follow the on-screen directions to put it into a connecting mode and add it to a new room or an existing room as needed. Once you go through that setup process, you can then connect any additional remotes that will be connecting and controlling the same lights, like that Pico remote. I also have a remote sitting on this bookshelf hidden door that goes into the game room, so I can pick that up and use it from wherever I might be in the basement. Now after those switches are set up and connected, you can go into the Lutron app and you can set up themes or schedules as you see fit. Since I work from home, I set up mine to turn on the studio lights at 9 a.m. when I'm heading into work. One nice thing is the sunset and sunrise options. Since daylight savings is coming up, Caseta also adjusts to the sunset and sunrise, so you can set them and forget them. You don't have to go back into the app twice a year to fix the time or anything. It just automatically does it for you. It's really, really nice because that saves me a bit on my electricity bill, and if I was working away from home, I could come home to a lit home at sunset. Oh, and also, I didn't mention yet how you can control these with voice, but if you haven't subscribed, do that. There's a button down below next to the join button. And also I wanted to say a huge thank you to Edwin this week for the Patreon pledge and for becoming a S'mores supporter. Now, if you already use Google Home to control your smart home, you can add the Lutron Caseta switches to your Google Home app so Google Assistant can set your lights for you. I added every single one of my Lutron switches to my Google Home app in my account, so I can simply say the trigger phrase for Google, turn off basement lights, or I can say the trigger phrase, turn on basement lights to 50% or turn them down to 25%. Hey, turn off basement lights.
Got it. Turning 2 lights off.
Turn on basement lights.
Okay, turning on 2 lights.
And it does the thing, and it does it every single time. And if I leave work early, I forget to turn off the lights in the basement downstairs, I can always tell my Nest Hub upstairs to turn off the lights from anywhere else in the house, or I can control them from my phone. Now the best part, the ones I've had in the rest of the house, they have been connected since we moved in, and that's been over a year and a half now, so not once have they lost connection, not once have I had to reset them or anything. They just work. And they work really well. They work great. It's so easy for me to recommend them just because they're so convenient. It's so nice having these smart switches around the house that I can just simply tell my Google to turn on or off, or I can set them on a schedule. It's just super fun and really easy to manage. So thank you, Lutron, for being one of the sponsors for this basement series. I absolutely love the Caseta smart switches, and if I have any more switches that I find in my house that don't have one yet, I'm going to install more. Click here for more videos in my Dream YouTuber Studio series. I did a whole tour. It was so much fun to show y'all my space. It was like a show and tell episode. I had so much fun doing it. And don't forget to subscribe if you have not seen the rest of my channel.